Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Healthy Cooking with Heidi. Today I'm going to show you how to make gluten-free chocolate chip cookies. Let's get started. All right, so to begin with, what we're going to do is we're going to make what's called a flax egg. So by using flaxseed in this recipe, we're adding a really important nutrient to our diet called omega-3s, which can be hard to get in. So to make our flax egg, I've got 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in about 3 tablespoons of some water in here. And this is gonna become a gel-like consistency, like an egg, and this is gonna be our binder in this recipe. So I'm just gonna set this aside and we'll come back to this in just a couple minutes. So now to keep our recipe nice and healthy and get out the butter or margarine from here, we're gonna be using a little bit of almond butter. So we've got a nice healthy fat that we're using, but we're keeping it pretty minimal. We've only got a 1/4 cup. So we're not gonna be having too much in here. And then we're also gonna have a 1/4 cup of some unsweetened applesauce as well. So we want to get these two mixed together. Could also use a peanut butter in here, or you could use another alternative would be a seed butter, like sunflower seed butter. Either one of those would be completely fine. All right, we have that nice and incorporated. Now we're gonna add a 1/3 cup of brown sugar. I'm gonna add our vanilla next. So we're using a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mix that in, and let's check on our flax egg now. All right, perfect. It's nice and set up. Incorporate these together. And our flours that we're gonna be using today is we're gonna be using a combination of almond flour and oat flour. So again, we're getting in a good source of fiber, including our flaxseed and our oats in here. So now we're gonna start mixing in our dry ingredients one at a time. So I'll mix in first our baking soda and baking powder. We've got a 1/2 teaspoon of each of these. So let's get our 1/2 teaspoon of our baking powder and our 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Let's incorporate these. We just have a small amount of salt, just a 1/4 teaspoon. All right, and now to make our oat flour, instead of having to buy one more flour at the grocery store, all that I did was take old-fashioned rolled oats, put them into the blender for about 30 seconds, and this gave me a nice ground oat flour. So first I'm gonna incorporate this flour, get this mixed in. All right, and next we're going to add our almond meal. I had some almonds at home. I just put them into the blender for about 30 seconds, and that was enough to turn it into an almond flour. All right, we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of some dairy-free chocolate chips. All right, so that's all. Now, we're gonna put them on our baking sheet. So I like to use a silicone baking mat. They're great because they're reusable and they're non-stick, so we don't need to oil or butter our cooking sheet. So I'm just gonna be making a large little scoop here on our cookie sheet. These are gonna get us about, depending on the size of your cookies, 12 to 15 cookies. All right, and now we're gonna put these in the oven at 350 for anywhere from about 12 to 15 minutes. All right, here we have some gluten-free chocolate chip cookies that are not only nutritious, but delicious. Thanks for watching today's episode.